I guess I mean, you're welcome.
Here's your hosts of the MonsterCast, the Straight Edge Monster Jack and Ryan.
All right, so we got to talk about the big thing that happened, the main event of Dynamite, which I actually didn't have a problem with, but a lot of people did, obviously. Shocking, I know.
So funny. I loved it.
The new tag team champions in AEW are the Gun Club. Now, there's a lot of people that don't like the Gun Club. I don't have a problem with them. I thought they've been doing really good. I thought the whole reason that this whole thing happened is because of the FTR shit. So the FTR shit, they can easily say that the Gun Club are the reason why they started fucking getting in their heads and fucking with them all the time, and they dropped the titles one at a time. Then they had the thing where they're going off for a couple months to decide if they want to resign or not. Well, guess what? Now there's a reason for them to come back, to get the AEW Tag Team titles that they've been wanting from the people that was fucking with them to the point where they were losing all their titles. So it works perfectly with that. And yes, do I feel bad for the Acclaimed? Yeah. But wouldn't you rather go out while you're still on fucking top and making money with merch sales instead of getting overplayed to the point that people turn on you? Because that's how I feel about it. The only thing I didn't like about it is I was really kind of hoping that Billy Gunn turned heel and went back with the Gun Club. Because I think that would have helped protect Acclaimed. I think that would have helped protect Acclaim in the long run, instead of, hey, we just lost and we had fucking Billy Gunn in there helping us too, and we still lost the titles to the fucking Gun Club. His kids, which is a connection that clearly you cannot ignore. I guess they're just making too much money off the daddy ass merchandise, but I still feel like they would make a shit ton of merchandise off the Scissor Me stuff, that they wouldn't really need Billy Gunn in that role anymore because it's already been done. But yeah, I'd much rather Acclaimed be out on top, so that when they go off to do other stuff, people are still giving them the huge reactions, just like the New Age Outlaws type stuff, and then possibly get back in there at some point, or maybe challenge FTR after they win the titles, and then they don't have to win, obviously, but just always be in that mix type deal. Because honestly, FTR coming back, and I feel like they have at least agreed in principle to something, or they wouldn't have gave the titles to the Gun Club in anyway. We were talking about how their tag team division has kind of taken a hit with the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros being involved in the trio stuff right now. Right. I think if FTR comes back, I think the division is still strong as fuck. Definitely stronger than WWE's, obviously.
Yeah. When they broke up Starks and Hobbs, that was a little bit of a blow to it. Breaking up Swerve and Keith Lee is a little bit of a blow to it. But I mean, they still have.
But then you got Top Flight back right after with Dante coming back.
Yeah, and then Top Flight beating the Young Bucks also helped. Gives them a lot of credibility. So, yeah, it's a shame about the Jay Briscoe shit, because them being in the mix right now would also be really interesting. Yeah, I mean, the tag team division they have there is healthy. It's fine. I don't. The Gun Club thing is funny. I loved how upset people were about it. One of the comments I made on somebody's Twitter, I don't even remember who, but they were upset about it, and I said, yeah, sometimes the more deserving and talented team wins. And then sent back this gif. What the fuck are you talking about? And I said, people tend to overlook their long list of accomplishments. And I put New South Tag Team Champions one time, because that's the only fucking championship they've ever had before that. So the whole thing's really funny. But, like, yeah, people were real upset about it because Acclaimed are, you know, so over, so popular. Obviously doing really well in merch sales and stuff like that. So, but you kind of see where the story's going, too. They've been planning the FTR and Gun Club heat for months now. And going into that match, I was kind of like, I was expecting a Billy Gunn turn. Because I expected the Gun Club to win. Weirdly enough, I went in that match thinking every other title in this show has not changed hands. They might do a title change. And then I was like, well, maybe Billy Gunn turns. They just had the whole family thing, and he's been getting a little bit more physical with the Acclaim lately when they're doing their pull aparts. Like maybe he's also
the one that made the match without talking to the Acclaim
without
first.
talking to them, right? So I thought that's where they were going, and they still might be going there. It could be like a long con. We'll see. Maybe in the rematch he fucks him over. Who knows? But yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a good shock value. I thought one of the things I thought too is, you know, the TNT title doesn't really get that hurt by playing hot potato a little bit with it, and the tag team titles are kind of the same way. You can have people have these like 1 or 2 month title reigns and have another tag team win it. The tag team division there is credible not because of who is currently champion, but because of the wide range of people you have who can be credible champions. Now,
I've been saying that since AEW started, pretty much. Like, the tag division was so deep that there's a travesty that Proud and Powerful were not tag team champions before Santana and Ortiz had their blow up and injury and all that other stuff. Like, the best friends should have been tag team champions by now. Like, you don't have to have everybody have a 1.5 year reign in AEW when your roster is that deep. As long as it makes sense, storyline wise, I have no problem with an occasional transitional champion. We've seen it with the TNT title, like you said, with Cody and Brody, and then Cody and Sammy. Like, and yeah, we got kind of tired of seeing Sammy and Cody, but then they pull out something like the fucking ladder match in Cody's last match, and you're like, holy shit, that was awesome. Yeah, okay, he deserves the title or whatever. So every now and then, you'll have that transitional stuff going back and forth. I don't have an issue with Gun Club holding it for a month or two or until Revolution, and then they do an open challenge or some shit, and then FTR is the one that answers the open challenge at Revolution and takes the title right back from them. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, and they're entertaining. They've been around from the beginning, so it's fine.
The other thing I don't understand about the hate for the Gun Club to take out the Acclaimed, it's not like the fucking Gun Club took out the Young Bucks, right? Right? The Acclaimed were built from the ground up in AEW, just like the Gun Club was.
Yeah.
What are the accomplishments of the Acclaimed outside of AEW as a tag team? They were put together in AEW by Tony Khan. So, like, come on, man. It's not, you act like they went out there and beat the fucking Legion of Doom or some shit. Like, that's not what happened here.
Yeah, and at least the Gun Club have been New South Wrestling Tag Team Champions. They claimed to have never done anything.
And they're real brothers, so, like, they're on the same page. Like, I don't understand I really don't understand the issue here. Logically, it still doesn't make sense. I thought they've been doing really good in their promos. They're way better in their matches. They beat FTR, for fuck's sakes. Like, they had a claim to at least get a shot for the titles, and then they did and lost or whatever, and then Acclaim beat the other team that was up there as well, which was obviously Swerve and Keith Lee. So it was Gun Club's turn to come up next again, since FTR said we're going to step away for a little bit to determine our future. So, I don't know, man. I just think the outrage for the Gun Club winning the tag titles was a little severe. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, not everybody that you like has to win constantly 100% of the time. So, like, I don't know, man. I just think people overreact when heels win. And AEW, 80% of their shows have the face go out on top at the end of the show. So it was nice to have a little change and have the heels on top at the end of the show.
You know what you could tell, though, is on Rampage, it was like the first match of Rampage felt a little flat at the start, because you could tell the crowd was still kind of like, oh, fuck. Like, just like they were a little bit deflated. They eventually picked back up because it was a pretty good crowd, but I thought that was interesting. I don't know. I don't know that they're that. It seems like a really obvious. My thought on this is Tony Khan is never really that obvious about what's going to happen, and it feels like this is such an obvious going to lead to FTR at Revolution taking the belts from the Gun Club or whatever. But I don't know, man. That seems really heavy-handed and not subtle at all. And he typically is a little bit less obvious with stuff, so it could be different. We'll see.
All right, so yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's good. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that Tony Khan does where it's like you think it's gonna go one way, and I still think he swerves you. And then there's obviously other stuff where he's clearly going that way, and he actually delivers on that. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. He does both, and he does them both consistently. It's not like he leans into one over the other. So I don't have an issue with any of this right now. Especially if FTR is the one to come back at Revolution and dethrone them.
Hey guys, did you like that video? If so, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can also catch full episodes of the MonsterCast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And you can also catch us live every Sunday on Twitch. All links in the description below, along with some sweet merch from yours truly, the MonsterCast. Deuces.